This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors. Hey guys, what is up and welcome to the channel. This one is going to be a little bit different from my typical Fate Grand Order and Epic 7 and other gacha game videos, and this is something that has been brought up a couple of times in the streams over the last couple of days, and I figured that I would give my official stance on this and talk about it a little bit. U.S. Senator introduces bill to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions. Now, in the chat, a lot of people are like, what do you think of this? Is this going to kill Fate Grand Order? Is this going to kill gacha games? As you know, what do you think is going to happen with this being introduced? Well, first off, it's just introduced. It's not a law. I can't imagine that it's going to get very far. As I mentioned earlier in some of the streams, I do feel that a lot of these big tech companies that do profit exponentially off of microtransactions, you know, EA, all of those stuff, not even just gacha games like, you know, Overwatch, Fortnite, stuff like that, they're going to be able to lobby these people to literally get this shut down, or they're going to just frame it in a way that it's just going to be business as normal. And we'll get into that too, because I did read this a little bit earlier and I was thinking about how, you know, I wanted to frame some of these things. So to give you an idea of what's going on, Senator Josh Hawley announced a bill that would ban loot boxes and pay to win microtransactions in games played by minors. Now, this is a broad label, and realistically, like, how do you manage that? It's tough to say what pay to win really is, and this is actually an argument that I have quite often with people. What actually constitutes pay to win? Are you able to get the same stuff if given enough time, or is it something that you literally can never get unless you pay for it? Is it paid content? Is it things where if you don't get this in the gacha, you will never progress no matter how good you are at the game? You know, what is pay to win? Now, in a lot of cases, people are like, well, literally everything is pay to win. If you're a whale, you win. And that is a whole subject for a whole nother time. But let's get back to talking about this, because I don't want to get off of the topic. Now, they want to hammer developers knowingly allowing minor players to engage in microtransactions. Now, this can easily be circumvented by putting a box in that says, are you 18? Yes. It's like when you're under 18 and you go to very tasteful doujin sites and they say, hey, are you old enough to read these tasteful pure Christian doujins? And you go, yeah, of course I am. And then you do your microtransactions. Now, this is going to be a build called the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Acts. I think that the game is not necessarily abusive. I think that's a silly, very misleading title. They're making it seem like somebody is forcing these kids to play gacha. I mean, you know, I make bad financial decisions, but, you know, realistically, like, come on, kid, you know, where's your parents at? You know, how are you getting this money? Teach me the secrets to your getting money. So anyways, this is going to, let's see, they bring up Activision's Candy Crush as an example of pay-to-win microtransactions, thanks to its $150 Luscious bundle that comes with a whole bunch of goodies. Now, they bring that up, but at no point does it say that you have to have this. That is pay-to-win. You can still play Candy Crush free-to-play. Like, realistically, you can still play it free-to-play. Does it kind of suck? Yeah, it does, but you can still do it. You know, nobody is forcing your hand to get this Luscious bundle. Government, stay out of my gacha games. But anyways, this bill will also likely apply to a host of online games that feature loot boxes and other ways in which players can spend money for real benefits. I don't know that I agree with that. If it's just a benefit, is that realistically, like, see, here's the big problem with this is you're going to have people who have no clue about these games, about microtransactions, anything like that, in trying to institute laws for it, and you're going to say, okay, well, we're banning all pay to win. Okay, what does that mean? If I technically, if I buy oil in Azure Lane, I have more oil than you do. Is that pay to win? You know, like, I know that a lot of people say that Epic 7 is pay to win, you know, but like, if you want to be number one at the arena, at the top of the arena, yeah, it is a little bit, but you still have access to everything else in the game free to play. So will they come in and look at just the very, very fringe people that, you know, spend copious amounts of money on the game in order to be number one and go, bam, that game is pay to win right there? But, you know, it's going to be really, really tough, but I don't really think that this is actually going to go very far. Now, they go on to say, when a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction. Now, these games aren't necessarily made for kids. I mean, Azure Lane's not made for kids. Fake Grand Order's not made for kids. I know that I'm, you know, going off of my sphere of things, but like Clash of Clans isn't really made or geared towards kids, because let's be real, kids don't have money. Like, you want to target the 20-something IT dude who has like way more money than he knows what to do with and lives in a single room apartment and just spends, you know, $1,000 a banner on, you know, on waifus. That's who a game developer wants to target, you know. And they go on to say, and when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions. They kind of are. You kind of have to have some money in order to do that. Now, you could be like, hey, mom, can I have some Saint Quartz for my birthday? And then your mom gives you some Saint Quartz for your birthday. Or she'll be like, we have Saint Quartz at home. But mom, and then you get home and it's just quartz fragments. But, you know, that's the big thing here. Okay, so compulsive microtransactions, we gotta kind of have to have money there in the first place. And then it goes on to say, games developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. If that's the case, then shouldn't every single marketing person who knowingly exploits children's addictions face legal consequences, like Kinder eggs or the freaking Hatchimals or whatever the like real life gacha stuff is? I literally have seen so many, like, there's literally entire YouTube channels that are just dedicated to opening freaking Kinder eggs, and like these kids are just insane about them. So they're super worried about some digital PNG waifus, while we've got, you know, real life gacha that's getting kids addicted to that stuff real early on. Now, it goes on to say, last fall the Federal Trade Commission promised to investigate loot boxes following a letter from Senator Maggie Hassan. I wonder what her NP is, or oof, man, maybe she's trying to kill the gacha because she's a Hassan. But anyways, she wrote, in the wake of 2017 string of games featuring the heavy usage of predatory microtransactions, such as Middle-earth: Shadows of War and Star Wars Battlefront 2, although some companies have pulled back on the practice, popular games like Overwatch, FIFA, Apex Legends continue to make big money off of randomized microtransactions. Many of those games are played by both adults and children. Okay, fantastic, and I get that, but no one is forcing you to buy that stuff. Like Overwatch, I'm pretty sure, is just skins. Does anything give you an advantage in Overwatch? I don't really know. I don't play Overwatch that much, but like, let me know in the comments, is there literally anything that you get out of loot boxes that gives you a tactical or realistic advantage over your enemies? I don't know anything about FIFA other than that people spend crazy amounts of money on it, and same with Apex Legends. But I know that in gacha, you know, unless you're in a PvP style game and, you know, everybody has the chance at getting the same stuff, some people just have a better chance because they have unlimited budget works. However, that doesn't always work either. But unless a game gives you some sort of tactical advantage by paying X amount of money. And I don't even mean like a tactical advantage in terms of like, hey, this is just going to speed this up. You want to buy 2 million gold? Cool. Here, give me $20. Because realistically at that point, it becomes a matter of, do I want to go to work and make $20, or do I want to spend the amount of time that I would be required to get 2 million gold? You know, for some people, they have more money than they have time and they want to enjoy that game. Is it realistically unfair to blame that person who has the extra $20 to just buy that gold? You know, and I mean, I guess like my big thing is, again, what are they going to consider predatory microtransactions? In Azure Lane, nobody's asking you, or well, no one's forcing you to buy any of the skins. Would Azure Lane skins be considered predatory microtransactions? Now, I did go ahead and look up the laws in the United States when it comes to what we actually have right now. Now, there are no regulations specifically governing loot boxes, and there hasn't been much movement until now to really create any on the federal level. Some states have looked into them previously, and you know, this bill is kind of super brand new. One of the big things is they want to allow the state gambling commissions to investigate these issues, and I don't know how that will go, because the State Gambling Commission is a whole different world than gacha games. I don't like, they would have to bring in somebody who is well versed in like gaming and stuff like that, because you know, you're gonna have some dude who just doesn't understand, and he's gonna be like, bro, well, what do you mean I only have a 0.7% chance to get this thing? And you know, they're gonna immediately just go ham on it, because they're not gonna understand. And I think that that's gonna be a huge problem if this goes through, and if the narrative is spun a certain way. Now, I do think that there should be a little, I mean, I feel like there should be at least a little bit of regulation. I do feel like safety nets are a very big thing in games. I think that you should at no point be able to drop $1,000 on a game and not get the thing that you're looking for. And if anything, that would be one of the rules, like one of the regulations that I would see, you know, I would like to see come out of that. If anything, I would like them to just not touch my gacha games. But this really brings up the big question of, if this passes, what will happen to the games that are in the United States with a certain type of pay method? Well, let's take Fate Grand Order, for example. If they put in some sort of regulations into this, will these companies that are global companies with other countries, you know, say they have a JP version, a Korean version, Taiwan version, are they just going to shutter the doors on the North American version versus having to abide by by the North American laws? Because then you might have animosity between the other servers. They'll be like, hey, wait, we've got this, but everything's easier to get over on NA because the government said so. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean that the other countries can't just download the APK and play the North American version, but will these companies just decide, hey, this is just 100% not worth my time to do this, and just shutter the games? I don't think that a lot of games will. I think that even if this goes through, which I don't think that it will, we could see, you know, most games that are just making copious amounts of money are going to find some way to either go around it, circumvent it, spin it a certain way so that they're not impacted by anything, or they're just going to, you know, find a different method to, you know, drain our entire wallets dry. But I did want to talk about this a little bit because, like I said, it's been coming up in my streams quite a bit, and it is something that I've seen around for a while, but it does look like it might actually be kind of taking off a little bit with this bill being introduced. When was this introduced? Yeah, this stuff just came out like yesterday. So, you know, I don't think that there's anything to be afraid of. I don't think that a lot of these companies really care that much because it's just going to be squashed really early on. But who knows what will happen. Are you worried about it? Do you think anything will come of it? What do you think? Do you think games will just decide, hey, we're just going to shutter this and boom, we're done, we're going to go back to JP and KR because they have the vast majority of the, you know, the market share? Obviously, you know, North America for Fate Grand Order is only like 3%, but I don't know. What do you guys think? And what do you think of this format? I would like to talk a little bit about Gacha news more. If you like things like this, I'm more than happy to kind of talk about things that are brought up that would potentially impact my my niche demographic here. But anyways, guys, if you did like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and I will catch you next time. Take it easy. Peace.